Welcome, everyone, to the first ever PLE edition of the Three Bells podcast. As always, from Monday Night Raw, it's your boy Mundo, a.k.a. Mr. a.k.a. himself. By my side, I have my guys, Shane O'Mac and Triple J. And I would like to say, my guy, Triple J, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. Good morning to everybody and happy late night to those on the West Coast. It's your boy from NXT here. Great night and let's get it. Yeet.
What's good, everyone? It's your friend, it's your homie, Shane O'Mac, coming from you from the SmackDown end of the table. It's so good to always be here next to my homies, Destaker, a.k.a. Mr. a.k.a. and, of course, Mr. Too Cool for School, Triple J. What's good, everyone? It is so good to be here tonight. We got so much to talk about. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Where the bells at? Where they at? Let's do it.
All right. Thank you very much, fellas. Thank y'all so much. Wow, what a way to end the night. None of us called this at all for the ending of the men's Royal Rumble or the pay-per-view itself in general. I'm in shock. I know we were all in shock witnessing that. Man, wow. I'm still trying to catch my breath from it. Again, welcome everyone. This is our first ever pay-per-view PLE edition of the Three Bells podcast. Royal Rumble 2024 did not at all disappoint. And let's get right into it. To the last thing that we witnessed, Cody Rhodes, for the second time, 2 years straight, winning the Royal Rumble. The first person to do that, and like Michael Cole said, in over a quarter century, 25 years, we haven't seen that. And I'm just in shock. Fellas, I just would like to get your input on what did you think of the Royal Rumble match, the men's Royal Rumble match, to be precise. What did you think about it? Did you think it was going to end the way it did? The surprises that we got, the potential feuds that we got within it. What is your take on it? I will start with NXT first. Jay, we'll go with SmackDown to round things out because, man, oh man. Jay, my guy, go ahead.
Oh man. I'm not too happy about this. I didn't want it 2 years in a row. It's Stardust, man. Nah, I can't dwell on it. No. I was hoping for a better outcome than this, but it was like they just kept on selling us Punk and Rhodes. And then, as I was telling you guys earlier, I was watching the 2014 Royal Rumble earlier, and look at what happens. You know, they both get attacked by Roman during that match, so they both had a beef with this guy, and you know, um, Rollins and Punk were 1-2 that Rumble. So 10 years later, it seemed like that's gonna happen again. They're gonna really get their fight on now. Like you said, there's gonna be a way to it. I love that. You know, the fact is we only got one special person in the ring tonight, which was Andrade. Not bad, you know. And then pretty much everybody that I was in there got ample eliminations. Like you didn't see someone actually destroy like 7, 8, 9 eliminations. It was like literally broken down, like one here, one there, two here, three there. You know, if anything, Braun Breaker probably had the most tosses, if that was the case. From what I'm seeing. And other than that, I'm just highly upset. You know, oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Shane, you want to take this from me, my guy? I'm just upset right now.
Yeah, I can understand your feeling because for the second time in a row, we have Mr. I want to finish my story. It's like, dude, you had your opportunity to do this last year when you said this exact same thing. You had the opportunity to finish it and you didn't. So now here comes part two of a story that you said was going to finish. I don't know what this angle is, but, hey, congratulations to you, Mr. Cootie, I guess. All in all, for the Rumble itself, and I said this on the chat on how many there was a lot of like big meaty guys that was in the ring all at once. I was like, wow, they're almost like as if there was enough room for these guys to fight because it was so packed with these big guys. But I will say, out of the 30 guys, the guys that really impressed me the most, hands down, was Braun Breaker. He came in and he just like cleaned. He cleaned out of everybody that was there. I was extremely impressed with his performance. And This is the same Braun that impressed us on Tuesday from NXT when he did that tag team. So I say congratulations to him, even though you didn't win the Rumble, but you definitely won a lot of fans and even more fans tonight. One of the people that really disappointed me, and I also mentioned this on the chat, was Karrion Kross. Now I was really trying to give this guy a chance. And Des, yes, I know you called me out on the chat, but what I was saying is because I was beginning to believe what Jay was saying. So I'm like 50%, like he lost 50% of my encouragement. So I'm holding on to this 50% for when I see him and his faction fight against Bobby and friends. And if you don't impress me by then you will lose me altogether. But I expected much more from you, being that you're already this new, quote unquote, new character, Mr. Karrion Kross, with your fractions, and you just didn't do it for me. It was good to see Mr. Charlotte Flair. I know that's shady. Andrade. It was good to see him, and it's interesting to see where he would go moving forward in terms of storylines. It was interesting to see Jimmy and Jay together fighting it out, and it was also disappointing as a brother. I understand that, that Jimmy and Jay, they are like, not the best of friends, whatever. But for Jay to encourage other people to beat on, excuse me, for Jimmy to encourage other people to beat on Jay like that and to stand there and do this whole no yeet campaign thing in order to get to Jay, I was not a big fan of that. I was not a fan of that. He should have been like, if anybody is going to get rid of this bitch, it should be me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's your brother at the end of the day. Other than that, Carlito, like I said, he's the 1 minute man. Gunther, I would have thought that he would have been like the last two. And Pat, Pat, it was good to see Pat at the announce table, and I understand why he was asked to do his thing. But like I said in the chat, I would have rather prefer Hulk Hogan. I think Hulk Hogan would have gotten a bigger pop, and if he would have did that exact same thing, jumped in the ring and looked at all those big guys that was in there and said, nah, I'm too old for this. I'm not doing this. I would have been sold more on that. So all in all, it was an okay men's rumble, but compared to the women's, yeet.
You mean no yeet, right? But well, I'll just say that as Jay and I said a few weeks ago, that the men's Royal Rumble in particular, we didn't need to have too many special guests. Again, it was stacked. That Royal Rumble was stacked with participants between Raw, SmackDown, NXT. It was very stacked. I personally did not see the ending coming with Cody Rhodes winning. And I'm not happy about it because of the fact that, Cody, he had his chance last year, but, and being real and being honest, Cody has had a hell of a year since he lost at WrestleMania. He went up against Brock Lesnar 3 times. He went up against Shinsuke Nakamura. He went up against multiple different people so he can keep his story afloat and moving forward. So I can give him that much. I'll be fair and say he's had a hell of a year to end up at Royal Rumble to win the Royal Rumble again, and maybe this time he will finish the story. I don't know, but to me it was a good men's Royal Rumble. I didn't want us to feature too many special guest surprise people because of the fact that we have enough talent within the pool of WWE between the 3 brands. We have enough. We don't need any special guest participants. Andrade, I just thought that was great because of this whole storyline between LWO and I still can't. Jay, please help me. I still can't seem to remember his faction's name. Say it, Jay.
Legado del Fantasma.
I think it's too many. I think it's too many words, but yes, that faction. I think that's interesting moving forward to see how they might go along with that because Santos was trying to think, basically trying to recruit Andrade with that, but Andrade was like, "Yeah, I'm not with that, bro. Like, fuck out of here." So to me, that was interesting. What I also found, uh, interesting was the final 4 for the men's Royal Rumble, which was Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther. That could have went anyway. And then this chop fest that Drew and Gunther had, if I believe I have it right, Gunther had Cody, and Drew had Seth. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please, right now, Shane or
Gunther had Cody, and Drew wound up having
CM Punk.
CM Punk. Yeah, you
Yeah,
said
and
Seth.
right, and they were just laying chops on their opponents just to try to one up each other, and I was just like, God damn, because I'm like, man, are they going to really just keep letting these guys chop the hell out of them? But they, it happened. I thought that was cool. I thought the prospect of again another match between Gunther and Drew McIntyre in the future would be great because we've never seen them go one on one. The last time we saw them in a match together was a triple threat between them, those two, and Sheamus. So maybe that might lead into something in the future. I found something, something notable to bring to you guys was what Drew said to CM Punk when he thought he was about to eliminate Punk. He said, "Your ass belongs to me." Now, he mentioned that he's no longer the student; he's the teacher. And then Punk turned around and eliminated Drew. So that might be another situation that might start another story. Again, in this Triple H world, we don't know. We don't know where these guys might turn. And again, we have one more pay-per-view before WrestleMania, so Elimination Chamber might be stacked. But again, that men's Royal Rumble, to me, personally, I thought it was a good Royal Rumble, even though I might disagree with the ending of it, because, though I cheer for Cody, I'm not a Cody fan. But I'm not a Cody hater like Triple J and Shane O'Mac, as we saw their reactions to it. Shane, I see you unmuted yourself. You got something to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to boldly stand on the top of a mountain and say that both you and Jay were absolutely correct in terms of not having special appearances for the Rumble because of the fact that it was stacked and you had all these guys with all of these stories to either move forward or to create. So it was the perfect blend of individuals that was in the Rumble because I'm used to, a couple of slots open and we get that surprise entrance that comes in, even if it's for a second, for that nostalgia trip. So I give you guys your can of beers for calling this out. And another main reason why I did not enjoy this Rumble as much is because we didn't get our Kofi magic. What happened to our Kofi magic moment? We didn't get it. That was another thing that I felt gypped. I was gypped. That's all I gotta say.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from. That's become a staple in the Royal Rumble in recent years. The same thing with Naomi. She's the women's version of Kofi with trying to, figure out different ways to stay in the match. And we also witnessed that with Kairi Sane in the women's Royal Rumble. I don't want to get too far into that, but she had her Kofi and Naomi moment as well. But I get where you're coming from. Real quick, I'm gonna just play these voice messages that we got already from our guy. So here we go.
What's up, fellas? What's up? It's good to see you guys back. Good to see you guys back, man. And I told y'all on Monday Andrade was coming back, man. I told y'all.
I don't think anybody refuted that he was coming back. It was a lot of reports that he was coming back. We actually mentioned this before you started joining our podcast that Charlotte was pressuring him to come back to WWE, and that he actually was the person who brought Ric Flair to the other company who will not be named. But this is something that we did speak on. So just to let you know, that's nothing new. But Shane and Jay, anything else you guys want to say about the men's Royal Rumble before we move forward?
Well, with me, I like to say that was pretty cool to see, Andrade be face to face with Santos because I felt at that time when Andrade went to the other company that, Santos was going to be the next version of him because what they seen in him was that he speaks English more, he carries himself a little bit better, and it seems like now, hopefully, let's see if this side of Andrade now has learned some English or whatnot, but I'm excited for what the luchadors are gonna start bringing. It was cool to see how they was all almost in the ring at the same time, even with Dom as well. You know, also to see Braun do what he did tonight so fast. I didn't even like it was a blur with what Braun was doing in the ring. spear, toss, spear, power slam. He's like, yo, this man was everywhere, just displaying everything in that ring, bro. Kudos to my NXT guys tonight. Even the Mello tried, stood in there for a good 10, 15 minutes, did his thing. I'm also sad that Kofi didn't get a chance to do any magic. At that, it was cool to see Miz and R-Truth come out back to back because they're boys, and then they did that little swerve dance that they did back then. I thought that was real cool. I was upset to see Omos. Did not expect that at all because I ain't seen him fight in damn near 8 months, 8, 9 months. No, McAfee eliminated himself. It's hilarious because you heard Michael Cole bragging about it that he still holds the record. And I found that hilarious. And as I've been saying, carrying Cross is a piece of shit. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, so ending with what Jay said, agreeing with everything what Jay say, and ending with this. In all of these pay-per-views, you have that one superstar that really stands out. And tonight was R-Truth. That damn R-Truth. I'm telling you, with all of this, this humor and clowning around and accidentally going into another match and then acting like that this Rumble was a tag team match. He was like reaching out for Dom to tag him in. Dom is looking at him like, dude, what's wrong with you? And then when he saw he needed him, he tagged him in. So he's like, okay, it makes sense to just tag him in instead of standing there and argue with him. So Dom was smart enough to use him that way. But it was funny to see R-Truth. He definitely like shined tonight, and the crowd was definitely like loving him tonight. So, I mean, it was a good show. All in all, the men's rumble this year, it was good. Not the best ending, but it was good. That's you, Des.
Thank you very much, Shane. Thank you very much, Triple J. Thank you very much, I Am. I appreciate everybody's input. For me, Omos has been someone who hasn't been on TV, but he has been participating in WWE action during house shows. So they never gave up on him. So that's why he participated tonight. Um, I I love the fact that Mello was in the match tonight. We all had about 3 to 4 guys from NXT participating in the Royal Rumble tonight. We got 2 of them out of the 4, which was Braun Breaker and Mello, and they both did what they had to do. I've been saying that, the 2 of them are the next call-ups from NXT. It's just got to be the right timing for the both of them because of the fact that we don't want them to get lost in the shuffle of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown because of how everything's going. And yeah, I think that's about it for the men's Royal Rumble. Anything else, fellas? We're good to go.
Do what you do best, boss man. Lead the way.
We good, Trouble Chief.
All right, then. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the beginning of the pay-per-view, which was the women's Royal Rumble. To me, that was the
Show
match
love
of
to the table. We have more guests. Show love to the guests in your sexy voice, Des.
the. Thank you very much, SmackDown Shane. SmackDown Shane. As a matter of fact, that's what you do best, and I'll go ahead and put that on you. Go ahead and do that shout out.
You only like me for my bells. Anyway, we see you looking, everyone. We see you, King Planet. We see you. Let me give you your 3 bells. And also, we like to say hello to Amberella. We see you in here also. Thank you so much for joining us today. Des, back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Shane, for that. And thank you everyone who's listening at this very late hour. This is the latest that we've ever done a Three Bells podcast. So we thank you very much for tuning in. The women's Royal Rumble, the number 1 entrant was Natalia. I almost threw up, almost passed out, almost threw myself out the window. I was like, God damn. No shade, but
You know how happy I was when that happened, bro. I was like, yo, this is all for Dez right here. Dez deserves this.
I
Jay, Jay and I, we were both partying in the chat when we saw her come out. We was like, no way. Des is going to love this.
oh man, I was like, why the hell did they waste entrant on her? But I'll give her flowers. She was in there for a while. So Natty, I'll give you your flowers, baby girl. But the number 2 entrant for the women's Royal Rumble was Naomi, and I mean the reaction that she got. And it was funny because I don't think because of the fact that with this new stadium pay-per-view set that they have. They don't have a Titantron where everyone can see who it is. So yes, the music played, but the fans haven't heard that music in almost 2 years, and so they weren't responding of it until she came to the ring, and Naomi got a huge reaction, like to the point where she almost came to tears because the fans was cheering her. They were saying "Welcome back," and it was just a beautiful moment. And then even before the match, before the match officially started, after the bell, even Natalia reached her hand out to give her a welcome back handshake, and it was beautiful. I was over the moon. Even though we all felt that Naomi, aka Trinity, was going to return, we had to wait and see it, and it happened. So I was very, very proud of that moment. So with that being said, Shane and then Triple J, how did you guys feel about the reemergence of Naomi?
Are you kidding me? When she stood there and she put her hand over her face, you knew that she was taking it in. And I was standing here. I was like, "That's right, girl. You better milk all of that shit and take all of that in. That's for you, baby girl." Because we was really hurt when she left. She was the champ. She was tag team champ. And then just like that, something happened, and she left. I was hurt by that. You know what I mean? Because in my opinion, Naomi, she is one of the best female WWE superstars out there. Period. And she's one of the most important individuals in the women's division. So of course, when she came back, it's yeah, because you belong here. You was in some other show, and yeah, you got the title for a while, and you lost it, and then you came here. Everything happened for a reason, so you could bring your ass home. So it was so good to see her do her thing, and she was in the match for quite a while, so we got a good amount of her. So I say congratulations to Naomi and welcome home, baby girl. Jay.
Oh man, to see the glow back in action, I was happy as hell. She left out on bad terms. I don't know if you could consider it bad, but man, it's just good to see her back in the ring. It's that moment she needed. You know, we missed her. We all missed her. When the crowd said welcome back, that right there was heartfelt because she's home. She's where she needs to be. And kudos to the 50 minutes that she put in that ring. She went in tonight, even though she didn't get much eliminations. She didn't get none. She got one elimination total, but she still did her thing tonight. And let's see what's ahead for her in the future.
Fellas, thank you very, very much for that. Um, what I would like to say is that it's nothing like being in the WWE. No matter who you are, where you go, to me, that entrance that they gave her with the glow, she got the full effect of the glow. That was just straight up beautiful with her hair saying Naomi in it. And she was so full and so appreciative of the moment that she got. She didn't even get a chance to do her dance because of the fact that she was just so overwhelmed. But it's what she needs to realize is that we never wanted her to go. I understand that it's a business, and it might have been a business move to go because you didn't agree with the regime that was in charge at the time and what they had planned for you and whatever of that nature. But to come home and to get that reaction from the crowd, to be featured like that from production and Triple H and everyone of that nature, it was well deserved. We missed her, and that's all I got to say about that. Speaking of Naomi, um, a few entrances later, we got the TNA Knockouts Women's Champion, Jordan Grace. I was like, what the hell? Yes, we had Mickie James come out with the, at that time, the Impact Women's Championship. But I mean, having the person who just defeated Naomi, aka Trinity, into the Royal Rumble was something amazing. And it just shows that, WWE is branching out and becoming more accepting of the federations outside of World Wrestling Entertainment. And I thought that was something big. I never seen her before, but when she came to the ring, I was like, holy shit. She's huge. So Jay and then Shane, what was your reaction to when you saw uh, Jordan Grace enter the Royal Rumble?
Whoa, bro, when I seen her come out, I said, "Oh shit!" because I've peeped at TNA a few times here and there, and before she was champion, she had got hurt at one point, and she was a thick girl. She was really, really thick. She was over like 250, 260. So when she came back to TNA and she came looking like this, the transformation was crazy because, you know, she's she's got it all. If you even as far as the muscle, the power, everything. And I loved what she displayed in the ring tonight. It's I see that you know with this little branching thing that WWE's been doing with the TNA women is cool because we get to see other women from other sides that we really don't pay attention to as much, and it's something I appreciate. Kudos to Triple H for pulling this one out the hat, and hey, I hope there's more to come.
The very first thing I said when she came out, I said, God damn, that is a big ass, strong ass woman. And I was like, at first, I was like, who is she? And I was kind of confused with the title because I actually went online to look to see if she was the women's, the NXT Women's Champion. I was like, she doesn't look like the Women's NXT Champion. And then I was listening, and they was like TNA, and I was like, hold on. I went on the chat, and then I asked Jay. I said, wait a minute, is this the same person that just defeated Naomi for the title, and now she's here with the title? I thought that was weird and like cool at the same time, and it shouldn't have been that much of a surprise because not too long ago we saw the reports of how Triple H was at an actual TNA event along with Sasha Banks. But it was good to see her, and you saying that she was bigger than that? Wow! I mean, she looks awesome. She looks amazing, and she was really doing her thing in that ring. And I see why she's the champion. She is really an amazing athlete, and I think I might have to look at her a little bit more because I was very impressed by her tonight. Very impressed, and I do see moving forward how WWE is going to be more open, have more open arms to other circuits in terms of, hey, let's collab and do these things together rather than fight each other. Let's make some beautiful music together. Case in point, this thing here. This is an awesome idea what they did, and I really looking forward to seeing them do more collaborations like this. Des?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Shane. Um, I was feeling the same way as you were when she entered the Royal Rumble. I was just like, who is this? I felt the same way. I'm like, is this an NXT talent? But we've been watching NXT. I'm like, who? And then I seen the title. I'm like, that shit says TNA. I'm like, holy shit! They brought another TNA superstar into the Royal Rumble, and I'm like, okay, the Forbidden Door is open. Uh, and I was actually very happy for that because of the fact that, for years, WWE didn't acknowledge the other companies that was around, besides ECW. And then obviously when they were in a war with WCW and they eventually brought them out. But to me, that's great for business. I'm very happy that they did that. I'm happy that she was actually in the Rumble for a while before she got eliminated. But yeah, that was a very good shock to the fan base. But something that was needed, and to see her and Naomi go face to face in a Rumble match, and to have the fans hype it up because they understood it. They understood what was going on in the ring at that moment was very cool. And kudos to Triple H, kudos to Nick Khan, kudos to the owners and operators of TNA for letting that happen. And it's a bright future moving forward for everyone. Um, Also, you guys is y'all girl Bianca Belair entered the Women's Royal Rumble as number 10. Um, and I'm not mad at that. Bianca, she came out, the fans went crazy for her because of the fact that she's been a fighting champion over the last year. As she had the title down there the entire 2022 to 2023 situation, and I'm not mad at that. She deserved what she got from the fans tonight. Um, but I'm gonna move forward. Go ahead, Shane. I see you. Go ahead.
Uh-huh. Says
Go
the
ahead.
person that just cursed her out on Friday. Am I mistaken, Jay? Isn't this the
Uh,
same guy that was talking?
hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Or
Yeah,
is this
No, no,
a
no,
different
you was hating on
personality?
no,
Bianca last night.
no, no,
What?
no,
You was hating on her.
no, no, no.
Uh-huh.
No, no, no.
Uh-huh.
Let's get it right. Tonight, I am Mundo, your host of Monday Night Raw. Whoever that is on Friday, Destaker, He has his own opinions, and I don't agree with everything that he says. So let's just make that clear. I'm Mundo. I host Monday Night Raw. He's Destaker. He's a co-host of SmackDown. He says what he says. I don't agree with everything that he says. Sometimes he's a little bit crazy. So I'll say that much. Shane, I see that you want to say something. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right, if you say so, Mr. McFoley 2.0. If you say so.
You can't call me Mr. AKA if you don't acknowledge the AKA. You got to acknowledge that. You got something to say?
I'm just laughing. Like, just picture me laughing for 5 minutes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you guys crowned me that, so we're gonna live up to that. So, with that being said, the women's rumble continued, and then Asuka appeared, and Bayley, who was already in the match, looked shocked because she was like, "Okay, hold up." Obviously, this wasn't something that they talked about. Was the fact that somebody else from Damage Control would be in the match, so she was very confused by it. Michael Cole made note of it. Corey Graves seemed to just hop over it, but yeah, she was confused by it. And then next thing you know, uh, I always forget this girl's name. My historian, the historian of the Three Bells podcast, Jay. What is this girl's name? I always forget her name.
But EOS, Kyrie saying?
Yes, thank you so much, Kyrie saying. Look, you see, I'm leaning on you, bro. You see that, right? You see that, right?
Exactly. We know.
All right, hold on one second. Before we even continue with that, finally, our special co-host on Raw is here. He's going to join us, Mr. Tristan Rollins. Welcome
Your tag
to.
team partner.
No.
Your
He's
tag
just
team partner's in.
he's a special guest co-host of Raw. Tristan Rollins, what's going on, man?
Bro, I fell asleep during that Rumble. It was one of the worst Rumbles I've ever seen, and that's just a hot take.
Wow. And yeah, I'm
Ouch.
right. Are you talking about the men's Royal Rumble?
I'm talking about the whole event in general. Like, it did not have me on my feet at all. The only thing that had me on my feet was Naomi returning, and I don't know how long she's going to be in the company. It was electric, but I thought she should have been a later pick for the crowd to get more hype.
So for everyone who's joining in, I just want to make it known that Tristan Rollins was on the same side as Shane O'Mac when we when we talked about the whole special guest appearances and stuff like that with the Royal Rumble. Him and Shane said that it's tradition to have special guest appearances during the Royal Rumble, where Triple J and I said we don't need it because of the fact that the Royal Rumble is stacked with current competitors across the board between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. We don't need it. And so he might feel that way because of that. We didn't get enough special guest appearances, but again, I never thought that we needed it. We had enough with the current roster that we got going on. So you can feel that way. I mean, oh well, to you,
Dude, I had already given you my opinions on that, and I remember I had just got on the mountaintop and treated you to some beer. So I already said my little speech. So
it's
so
no
I
shame.
take it that what you're saying is specifically for Tristan, not for
Right,
me after what I have already said?
correct. There's no
Because you
shade.
threw my name out there in your equation, so
No, I only said that because I wanted them, for those who haven't been keeping up with our podcast, who haven't been able to join our YouTube channel and go back to what we've been talking about. I just wanted to update them on that. The fact that he was in agreement with you, stating that because it's the Royal Rumble and it's tradition that we would have special guest appearances. That's all I was saying. I was not trying to shade you or nothing of that nature, Shane. Okay.
Tristan, he is shading you because of the fact that there was no guest except for one guy.
Well, he said that he fell asleep during the Royal Rumble, and I'm like, well, there was no need to fall asleep. There was no need to fall asleep. We got special guests in the Women's Royal Rumble. You didn't need it in the Men's Royal Rumble, and we already know because of the tumultuous week that WWE had this week that the biggest special guest that they had planned had to get pulled because of the situation with Vince McMahon. So, I mean, what do you expect out of that? It was gonna, for if you want to have what's best for business, you can't have him a part of this pay-per-view. It's at the end of the day, the dollars matter. Am I wrong?
It was not about special guests, bro. It was not about special guests. It was about the result of it. I woke up, found out Cody Rhodes won again, and it's just like, come on now. Us fans been waiting for this event for quite a long time since last year, and the result of that, Cody Rhodes won again. Like, come on, we can do better than that, bro.
Okay, so I'll challenge you this, Mr. Sleepy Bye. We already mentioned, and Jay already mentioned that the Rumble might lean towards a SmackDown situation, which it is. Obviously, Cody Rhodes already basically pointed out that he's going after Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So obviously, Elimination Chamber is going to be for whoever's going to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at Mania. So I'm not surprised. You know, we were all disappointed that it was Cody, but at the end of the day, like I said, do you not think that Cody has been through a lot in the last year, trying to get back to winning the Royal Rumble? Like,
In my eyes, I think that, especially according to the rumors, Roman Reigns isn't dropping the belt until 2025. I can be wrong, but now it's like if he win the Royal Rumble and still lose to Roman Reigns, all of this is pointless. And I don't think that this storyline is going anywhere anytime soon. So we must see what happens after this. And hopefully Roman Reigns loses to Cody Rhodes. But if he wins, now it's like it's pointless, waste of pay-per-view, everything.
and now I'll say that you're throwing me off, but I'll say, okay, where does The Rock feature into this? This was something I wanted to ask later on, but what if it turns out to be a triple threat match between Cody, Roman, and The Rock? Then what? Would it not be a bigger win for Cody to beat Roman Reigns and The Rock in the same night? Just the same thing as what happened with Chris Jericho, where he became the undisputed champion when he beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. I don't know. That might be before the time that you were a fan of WWE, before you were even born. But would that not be the same, Tristan?
I just think that if the plan for Cody to lose to Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns hold it for another year, it just don't make no sense. Like, it really make no sense at all. Because it was reports saying that Roman Reigns isn't dropping it anytime soon. So if that's the case, even if it's a triple threat, Roman Reigns still come up strong, then what's the whole point? You know, if Cody is finishing his quote unquote story, then it should be now more than ever. And yeah,
Yeah, but you're telling me that you're leaning on more of reports. But in this era of Triple H, reports don't mean anything. Reports don't mean nothing. Didn't the report say that WWE and CM Punk were far off, and next thing you know, he appeared at the end of Survivor Series? So, you sure you want to go with that? Like I said, would it not mean more for Cody Rhodes to actually beat The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? Would it not mean more? And before you answer that, we got a voice note, and we're gonna play the voice note.
As far as The Rock, I still see a match coming, but then again, I started thinking and using my head and thinking too much hard about the situation. I just noticed that Rock did sign with TKO, and he is, in charge of that. So what if we get a corporate Rock to be like the head of the table with Roman Reigns, like a corporate Rock? I don't know. It sounds stupid, but if you think about it, eh, I don't know.
Nothing sounds stupid in this day and age that we live in. Again, now that Vince is completely out, what if The Rock gets voted to be the head guy of TKO Holding Group, which runs UFC and WWE? We don't know. It's a lot of questions right now. But again, I don't see it. You know, I'm not a fan of Cody winning the match tonight, but I don't see a problem with him going against Roman Reigns and The Rock interjecting himself into the match and it becoming a triple threat match, because to me that's a bigger payoff for Cody. It's a bigger payoff, you know. And then, like Jay said, it might lead to a head of the table match between Roman Reigns and The Rock, because if Cody wins, you know, does The Rock really lose? Roman loses, but he loses the belt, but does he lose his status as the head of the table of the Anoa family? So it's a lot to think about. Jay, Shane, you guys have any input on that? Or should I move on?
It's as I've been telling you, bro. Roman's gonna wind up fighting two times, bro. That Saturday and Sunday, night one and two. Just because now we can see it happening because Cody already pointed to him, and the press conference, Cody already confirmed that it's gonna be him and Roman part two. So I can see, still the stipulation where it's gonna be him and The Rock for night two, and I will say why not? You feel me? You know, and as for overall the whole show, well, with this women's rumble, Des, I give you your flowers. I'm picking Bailey to be the winner for tonight, and I say this rumble win solidifies her to me as one of the top five greatest female wrestlers of all time.
You're kind of jumping the gun here because I wanted to answer this question that he originally asked us, Jay. Because you answered the question and then you were saying something else, which we haven't discussed yet. but but to answer your question, Des, and to also think about what you just said, Jay, in terms of Roman fighting both nights. So if Roman is not only fighting both nights but closing both nights, does that mean that he's going to win the first night so that he will still be the champion on the second night, or is he going to lose on the first night and have like this? Like, what would be the point? Like, if he's fighting Cody on night one, let's say, and he loses to Cody, and then on night two he fights The Rock, what are we fighting for? Does the storyline change to a point where this is just like a personal family affair? Because you had already lost the title. So does that mean that he is no longer head of the table? So what is that fight about? Does this make
Exactly.
sense what I'm saying, Des?
Yes, it does, and that's been my point to Jay. It doesn't make any sense. The point of everything with Roman is he hasn't been pinned in a one-on-one match since 2019. Michael Cole said that during the match tonight again. It doesn't make any sense to have him fight two nights in a row because you lose the value. The whole point is for whoever to win against Roman Reigns. That's it. They win against him. That's why I said it's a triple. I said it would be a triple threat match. I don't see a point in a two-night situation because you just don't get the same value out of it. It doesn't make any sense at all. And yes, thank you, Shane, for pointing out that we're jumping the gun because I never finished the whole situation with the Women's Royal Rumble. I just added Tristan into the conversation. But again,
Right. Can I ask this one quick question before you move on to the women's? Because I know we're we're off topic.
go ahead.
But in terms of that, okay, let's say that there is a triple with Cody, Rock, and Roman. How is that storyline going to go for it to be a three-way? I mean, you can't just like say, Cody, he won the Rumble, so he gets his fair shot against Roman. But where does The Rock fit in with this three-way? If that's the case, then what's to stop Jimmy or Jay or even Solo to be in that type of match? Why is The Rock in that match?
Because The Rock is at this point, well, before the whole bloodline storyline started, The Rock is the most famous and infamous person in that family. He, to all of us, he is the head of the table. You don't get that right until you beat him. Until you beat him, you can't proclaim yourself whatever you want to proclaim yourself. You know, he has to be beaten in order for Roman Reigns to be the rightful bloodline leader, the bloodline head of the table, because that's what it is. So that's, in my opinion, that's what it is. Jay, go ahead, and we'll end with Tristan.
What's the question again, Shane? Can you repeat it, please?
I was saying, how would the storyline go in terms of that three-way with Cody, Roman, and The Rock? Because Cody, he won the Royal Rumble, so he wants to go after the title against Roman. But where does The Rock fit into that storyline? Because with Cody fighting, who knows who could be that third guy? Why can't it be Jimmy? Why can't it be Jay? Why can't it be Solo? Why is it The Rock that's in there also with Cody to go for Roman?
I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet. I don't see that ever happening. There's no way in hell you've seen a triple threat. Cody ain't earned a shot just to get a triple threat out of it. Hell no. Hell no. Cody wants that one on one, and he's gonna get his one on one. It might be on night two instead of night one, and maybe that's how you inject the Roman and Rock situation where they fight night 1 and Cody gets him on night 2. Maybe it could go that way. But I'm gonna always say it, and I'm gonna keep that thought. That is, it could be a 2-night affair where Roman's the main eventer. It's gonna generate more and bring more eyes to it. So, you know, that's all I gotta say. No mas.
Well, Tristan has been designated on assignment for Monday Night Raw, so we'll move on from him. But Jay, my rebuttal to that is, again, someone who hasn't been beaten since we made a big deal when Jay pinned him last year for the first time ever in a while, and you can't tell me that Roman will face, he'll face The Rock or whatever the second night after. I can't see the point of it. The point is he has never been beaten 1-on-1 or whatever that nature to lose, and like you'll still have the same aura around him because it just won't be. It doesn't make any sense. It does not. That's like, okay, Brock Lesnar beat the Undertaker for and he defeated his streak. Okay, and now the next night someone beats him for the championship. We don't give a shit. He done lost the streak already. Now he loses the championship. Oh well, it's not that big of a deal. Before we move on, I'd like to go to the voice note that we have from King. Here we go.
I just want to say I thought tonight's show was amazing. I think Cody was the right winner, the right choice to be the winner. And I think we should just let Cody and Roman rock for WrestleMania and let The Rock and Roman get their chance another time. I think right now we should just focus on one story at a time, complete the story, let Roman go through his little crazy phase from not having the championship anymore, and have The Rock kind of like bring him back to, I don't know, maybe being a good guy or a mid, tweener between good and bad, and just get that edge back to him without the title, so then he could challenge for the title for next WrestleMania, maybe even the one after. He's had it long enough.
Again, King. So you think that it would mean anything after Roman loses the title to Cody Rhodes? That do you think he would still be called the head of the table now that he has no championship to back it up? Because if I remember clearly, the minute that the Usos lost their tag team championships, he crucified them for that, and they went through hell because of the fact that they lost their tag team championships. So I don't get it. I don't see how that can happen. It has to happen in one match where he loses the WWE Universal Championship and his status as tribal chief all in one match. It cannot happen at separate times because one doesn't make up for the other. He can't be the tribal chief if he's not champion. How can you rule over Jimmy and Solo when you no longer have a championship? What is the basis of that? Like, what can you say? You can't say nothing. I'm not a champion no more. So to me, that doesn't make any sense. So that's how I'm gonna leave it. We're gonna move on. We're still on the Women's Royal Rumble. I don't even know how we got to this, but yeah. The last thing I said was Bayley was shocked to see Asuka enter the Women's Royal Rumble, and then right behind Asuka was her tag team partner of the Kabuki Warriors, and it seemed like Damage Control was in full effect in the Royal Rumble. It was weird. Bayley tried to give a high five to Asuka, and she didn't get it. And then later on down the line, Asuka tried to give a high five to Bayley, and Bayley was like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." So we moved on past that, and then Jay's pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble at number 19 was Nia Jax. She shows up. Everybody's like, "Holy shit!" It's Nia. What's gonna happen here? She comes into the ring. We got Piper Niven, who's the biggest athlete in the ring at the time, and we have a showdown between the two of them. And unfortunately, Chelsea Green, if I said her name properly, with respect to our ring announcer, she was just getting hit left and right by the two biggest entrants in the ring. So Jay first, then Shane. What did you guys think of that that encounter with Chelsea, Piper, and Nia? I found that hilarious. It was funny all the way through. Go ahead, fellas.
Bro, as much as she was getting squashed each time, and then that she was trying to go to each corner to try to downplay it all, bro, it was hilarious. I think that she's honestly selling her character the right way to us as far as with Chelsea Green. She's one of those that I don't know. We're gonna see her rise be differently. She's like a female R Truth. Because she's just always landing in something stupid and funny. That's gonna just have you laughing. You know, I definitely enjoyed that moment. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So again, I say in all of these rumbles, you have that one person that stands out. For this women's, it was more than one, but she definitely stood out for me, Miss Chelsea Green. She definitely stood out for me because first of all, she's already in the records as one of the shortest times in the rumble. So she was in there way longer than we thought that she would have. And not for nothing, considering who she is, she's not a bad fighter. She'll be a better fighter, but she was good. This was good Chelsea that we saw today, and it was poor Chelsea. It was like, I want to give her flowers, and at the same time, I want to give her some band aids and some bourbon because beer is not going to do. You need some bourbon, sweetie, that help you heal the muscles because she was clobbered. They was washing her like crazy in that ring. So I would definitely give Chelsea a shout out because this was like one of the best moments we've seen of her because she really gave her all. And it was good to see Piper and Nia, two of the biggest chicks in the roster, go head to head like that. I would love to see them go one on one moving forward, just to have prove that I'm a bigger and stronger athlete than you are type of match thing. I would love to see that moving forward. But congratulations to Chelsea Green, Des.
Thank you very much, fellas. I'm gonna go ahead and play the voice note that we have from Lijon. Bro, if I'm saying your name wrong, let me know. But I believe that's how you pronounce it properly. You didn't correct me earlier this week, so I'm gonna keep going with it. But here's his voice note.
Let's just say Cody does finish his story. Money in the Bank is right around the corner. That's not to say that Roman, if he does lose his belt, enters the Money in the Bank and catches his Money in the Bank maybe the same night to win the belt at Raw. I don't know. It's just a suggestion if you think about it, and then you could do the Rock and Roman thing next year at WrestleMania.
From what,
Des, I think his name is pronounced Lawan because Juan is pronounced Juan, yes? And then Le would be like Lawan.
hey, like I said, I'm waiting for him to correct me on his pronunciation of his name. So I don't refute what you said. I don't know, but in regards of what he said, last time I checked, Damian Priest is the Money in the Bank holder, and his Money in the Bank contract does not end until this July. So I don't see how, if I can go back to what he said. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm reading it over. Right. Yeah. I don't see how Roman can cash in Money in the Bank when he's not the Money in the Bank holder at this point. So I don't get that point. But so yeah, we'll move on with the women's Royal Rumble, and oh, hold on, before I even finish, another voice note, so we'll go to it.
Yes, Luwan is the name. Luwan. Some people say Luwan. Some people say Leiwan. Some people say Liwan. But I pronounce it as Luwan. I don't get mad when people pronounce it the other two ways, though. Thank you, though.
There you go, Shane. You got it right. Lawan, I do apologize for saying your name incorrectly. Shane had it right. And again, I wanted you to correct me for saying your name incorrectly if I did. So thank you very much. Shane, you want to take your victory lap?
You damn right I do. You kept saying his name, and I kept thinking of Great Poupon Mustard.
uh, respect, Shane, respect. So yeah, in the women's Royal Rumble match, my notes, I was rushing through the pay-per-view just to try to keep up with you guys. So um, the Kabuki Warriors uh, were eliminated back to back, and Bailey was pretty much pissed off by that. She was like, "What the hell? We had a plan. What's going on with the plan?" And they were both out of the ring. But I want to give Jay, historian Jay, because I keep forgetting her name. What the hell is Oscar's partner name again? I'm sorry. What's her name?
Kyrie, like Kyrie Irving, insane.
Bro, thank you so much. Look, that's why I lean on you guys. So Kyrie, uh, she had almost a Naomi moment. She almost had a Kofi Kingston moment where she was sent over the top rope and one toe hit the mat, but the other one didn't, and she was basically in a crucifix situation. She was holding on for dear life. You know, Oscar was trying to help her out by holding her arm, but she just could not keep that leg from hitting the floor, and it did. So she was out. The next thing you know, Oscar was out, and like I said, Bailey was sitting there like, what the hell? Like, what was that? We had a plan. The plan was for you guys to help me out or whatever like that, even though originally it didn't seem like Bailey even knew that they were going to be in the match. So moving on, here comes Nia Jax at number 19. That was Jay's pick. That was Shane's pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble. And for those who hate on Nia Jax so much, aka Trish Rollins, who, like I said, is on assignment until Monday. He will be back on Monday. But to me, the fans were booing her and everything of that nature, and she was just feeding into that. She was having the time of her life, and I was loving every minute of it because I am a fan of Nia Jax, and I don't see what the hate about her is, but she was just giving it to the fans, and they were giving it right back to her. On that note, Shane and then Triple J, because that's your boo. What did you guys think of Nia Jax's appearance in the Royal Rumble, and up until when the fans were booing her, and she was just feeding into it and making them boo her even louder? How did y'all feel about that?
She did exactly what she was sent to do. She completed the assignment from point A to point Z. She came into the match with an I don't give a damn attitude. I didn't come here to play. I came here to fight. I came here to win. I came here to clean house. And she was amazing. She was absolutely amazing. That's all I got to say. She was absolutely amazing. I loved her performance today. I really do. She didn't win, and that's fine. But she's Nia Jax, and everybody knows that today. Jay,
All I gotta say is my boo did her thing out there. She got about 9, 10 eliminations. Her display of power was awesome. The way she took that in from the crowd was A plus plus. This is what I want to see from her. Going forward, just keep on with that swagger about you. And I'm just mad that she didn't win. I'm really upset. But overall, great job in the ring, and you're gonna hold records based on what you're doing in the Rumble for the women. So keep on piling them records, baby girl.
And I agree. I mean, she had multiple, if not the most eliminations in the women's Royal Rumble tonight. I was impressed thoroughly by her. Um, yeah, shout outs to Nia Jax. Again, she was basically my second pick to win the match, but it didn't happen, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Um, and then we fast forward to entrant number 21, which is Becky Lynch, and that entrance had the fans going crazy. For me, it's been a while since the fans have actually ingratiated and been proud to see Becky Lynch. Because we watch her on Raw. That's my show, and we watch her every week on Raw, and she hasn't been getting the big pops that we're used to with her. Maybe it's just her being on the show too much. I don't know, but tonight that the fan base was just going crazy for her. And it just turned everything upside down with the women's Royal Rumble at that point. It was pretty. I don't want to say dull, but it hit a plateau until she came out, and then all of a sudden everybody got their second wind, and Becky came out and did what Becky does, and I was 100% proud of that, happy with that. Um, Real quick, I don't want to lean on that too much, fellas. What do you guys think of Becky's entrance and what she was doing when she first came in, Jay, and then Shane?
With Becky does what Becky does, and it's also with her. It's better for her this way. Like I think since this is like their All Star game, every fan is gonna have their favorite, and we can imagine everybody in that crowd probably has Becky as one of their favorite females that are out there. So, you know, Becky's a big draw amongst the females. Like wherever they go, she gets loud pops. Maybe these other states that they go to, maybe it's the crowd's not feeling her because, like you said, they see her every week. So when it's a bigger event and there's maybe three times the crowd, you're like, okay, fine, she's gonna get this type of a pop with 45,000 compared to a 10,000, 15,000 seat arena where she'll probably get half that. So yeah, you could probably hear like 30,000 people cheering her out to 45.
Yeah, totally agreeing with what Jay said in terms of, people cheering for, the person that they like the most. But then also you got to realize that when she came out, everybody was like, oh, snap, because Nia was already there. And they were saying, okay, here's the man that the woman Nia created. So that I think also added to like the loud cheers because when Becky came out, we was like, oh, here we go. And sure enough, as soon as she went in there, it was Becky versus Nia. That's what we wanted to see. So it was good to see her, and she did her thing. So I say kudos to her. She did her thing. Des?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And she came in and she was whipping some ass. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna fast forward to the entrance of Valhalla. She came and she started walking down the ring. Excuse me, down the walkway to the ring, and then midway, we our truth came out. Oh boy, I was just in tears. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Like, I sent in the chat earlier to y'all the fact that he did a whole, documentary type video of when he came into the ring in the Royal Rumble a few years ago with a ladder. For some reason, he thought it was a Money in the Bank match. That shit was hilarious. But tonight, it was just unexpected and just funny. This guy seems to never miss with his comedy, and I get that Triple H is a big comedy guy too. So I love the free reign that we have right now with comedy and mixing it in with something serious. So that was just funny to me. But the fact that he lasted in the Women's Royal Rumble longer than Valhalla did was hilarious to me. But something that Corey mentioned was the fact that maybe now all of a sudden it might be a uh, uh, um, gripe between the Viking Raiders, aka Ivar, and the Judgment Day, aka R-Truth, who's not in the Judgment Day, but who is, but he isn't. So, uh, real quick, fellas, what do y'all think about that? What did you guys think about that? Shane first, and then Jay.
It was a double-edged sword because it was like, yes, it was funny from R-Truth, but it was unfortunate that it happened during Valhalla. I don't know if this was her first time in the Royal Rumble. Please correct me if it isn't. But he totally like overshadowed her, which caused for her to have been eliminated so quickly. So I totally see this as an ongoing thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, they said it was her first Royal Rumble match, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's her first, and it was overshadowed by R-Truth. That's very unfortunate. But R-Truth better
unfortunate.
watch out because she's definitely going to get hurt. One thing about Val, she gets her revenge.
Definitely. I mean, if we, again, in this Triple H era, you got to always watch what's happening in the background. And in the background of the whole situation between R-Truth and Adam Pearce was Valhalla, and she was trying to run and get R-Truth, but the referees held her. So I definitely see something coming out of that moving forward on Raw. Jay, go ahead with your input on this, bro.
I thought that was a spot on moment to just have that was, at the same time, like you said, it was pure entertainment. It was a moment where we all enjoyed because once you heard the music play, you're like, oh shit, no, not this guy right now at this moment. Because prior to that, Michael Cole was already getting hot. He was like, deer antlers. She really wore the deer antlers. So, took the focus away from Valhalla's deer antlers on her head. So when he came running past her and, he was like, this ain't the men's Royal Rumble. and then Nia torches him out. That was hilarious. And yes, I do see an instance where, since that happened with Valhalla, I wouldn't be too surprised if Valhalla gets a number one contenders match for the women's title.
You're talking about the World Heavyweight Championship for the women?
Yes, against Rhea.
That'll be interesting. I mean, that'll only be her second singles competition match that we've ever seen. So that'll be something wild to see. So, but again, you never know. You know, R-Truth does uh, represent the Judgment Day, at least in his mind. But so we'll fast forward to entrant number 27, which was Roxanne from Jay's NXT. I was actually very excited to see her. I've been a big fan of hers since her match a few months ago on NXT pay-per-view. And she's also the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship at Vengeance Day. So it was great to see her. Jay and Jay only. You know, we'll keep it short with NXT. How did you feel about seeing Roxanne be featured in the Women's Royal Rumble tonight?
I was very excited to see her. If I'm not mistaken, she might be the youngest ever entrant into the Rumble because she's probably 21, 22 years old. She's a baby. So, kudos to Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Booker T as well for finding a prodigy because that's what she really is. She's a work in progress and she did what she had to do. She came, she performed, and unfortunately she got eliminated, but it was a great time to see her. I was happy. And I hope that they continue displaying her the way she's supposed to be.
I respect that. Shane, I only excluded you from that topic because of the fact that, she dates back to when Jay was forcing me to watch NXT. But I want to get your actual full opinion on entrant number 28, which was Jade Cargill, the new, the big sign that WWE had for 2023, but we didn't see anything of her as far as in competition at all in 2023, and it was pretty much in question will we ever see her. So I want to get your full thoughts on how did you feel about her arrival in WWE in the Royal Rumble, and then Jay, since she had some static with your girl, we can end it up with you. So Shane, what was your overall thought about Jade Cargill with her entrance and her overall performance in the Women's Royal Rumble? And then Jay, same question to you after that. Go ahead.
It took a second for me to know. It took a second for me to know who she was because I've never seen her graphics. So they did like this whole pan of the stadium and they showed her graphics and played the intro to her music and everybody was like all excited and I was like, who is it? And then they finally zoomed in and it was her and I said, and I remember saying in the chat in bold letters, about goddamn time. I mean, because we knew that she was going to debut at the Rumble. However way was she going to debut in the WWE, but in the Rumble. And she took off that jacket and turned around. Good gravy. She has just nothing but just the most perfect physique. Like just big. Her presence is just so big. Just a big presence. It was really good to finally see her. To see her in that ring, it was I can't wait to see what she does moving forward. That preview of what to expect from her, yeah, all that training at the performance center definitely paid off. This was an awesome, awesome debut, and I said that awesome debut for Jade. Congratulations to you. I have your drink at the bar, also, Jade. Jay.
Wow, what a debut, bro. Her power is crazy. Like, yo, her six pack is like, yo, her six pack, her muscles, everything was on point. And when she body slammed Nia, I said, oh shit, this is like Hogan body slamming Andre right now. She did it with ease, like, wow. And then, at the same time, she um she looked face to face with Bianca. She went toe to toe. I was like, oh man, this is the perfect Mania matchup that we want to see. And that they both got sidetracked into other people hitting them. But yeah, man, she displayed everything that we kind of expected from her. She eliminated Nia, she eliminated Naomi, she eliminated Becky. So you eliminated three of the top heavy hitters. That already probably solidifies your name in the game as like, yo, you're a force to be reckoned with. So kudos to Jade on, her debut, and let's continue with her momentum going forward.
Right. Jade, like you said, she eliminated Nia. She eliminated Becky. She eliminated. Um, she also eliminated Liv Morgan at the end as well. So my question, go ahead, Jay. I see you.
Just one, just one more thing. And when she was in the other brand, she was being built like as if she was like a female Goldberg. She had like a 50 to 55 win streak, bro. You know, if Triple H is thinking about this down the line as far as having her like that, someone that just stays undefeated, wow, bro, then that's gonna be wild with her. That's all I had to say.
Well, I'll just say that maybe the other brand that she was on, the talent is lesser than what she faced tonight in WWE and moving forward. So I don't see that happening. But my question is, which match would you guys rather see at WrestleMania 40? Would you rather see Jade versus Bianca Belair, Jade versus Nia Jax, or Jade versus Becky Lynch? Start with Jay and with Shane. Go ahead. And if anybody in the listeners column would like to participate in that, go ahead and send your message. We'll play it and we'll comment on it. Jay, go ahead.
Ooh, I want it against Bianca. These are the two most powerful women by far in the WWE. You know, Bianca, if you're gonna fight, you gotta fight the EST. So, you know, you gotta think that you're the best, you gotta fight her. There's some way somehow that they're gonna meet up. I feel that's the match that everybody will want to see based on the crowd reaction that they gave us when they were face to face tonight. That is the match.
I absolutely agree with Jay. As a matter of fact, as soon as word went out that Jade was signed to WWE, immediately people were saying Bianca versus Jade. And then when they did the face to face in the ring, everybody was like, "Ah, shoot, ah, shoot." And you could go on Twitter right now and you could see that freeze frame, and everybody's saying, "This is a Mania match right here. This is the match. Bianca versus Jade at Mania. Watch and see." Des?
And I'm going to go ahead and play the voice note from our fellow listeners.
I would like to see Jade and Bianca. I'm gonna be the first one to say that I don't think WWE had a main event where it was two African American females doing a WrestleMania and closing out. So that would be a great closeout for night one. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I'm just looking at it bigger than that, and both of their physique, man. Both of them in the ring, their physique. They even had a standoff where they was both holding somebody in the ring during the Royal Rumble. So to see that, that would speak volumes.
Um, I want to correct you because we actually did have uh, a main event with two black females main eventing WrestleMania, and that was Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. So I just wanted to correct you on that one. We've had it already, but I'm going to go ahead and play your second voice note.
You can even go as far as putting them as a tag team together too.
Me personally, Shane and Jay, y'all can answer this after me. But me personally, right now, I don't see them as a tag team. Maybe down the line, um, when they have, you know, competitors that will give them an actual, fight for the championship. Maybe it's the Kabuki Warriors. I don't know. But again, like I said, we've already seen all black women's main event for WrestleMania that happened with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair a few years ago. So that's happened. Fellas, go ahead.
I mean, I could see that possibly later on down the line in terms of her being in a tag team with anyone. But first things first, I want to see her. I want to see her in ring action. I want to see her one on one against some of our power hitters. I want to see her against Shayna Baszler. I want to see her against Evil Gina, aka Zoe Starks. I want to see her against Naya. I want to see how she. I want to see how much her power really is in an actual one on one match, and then possibly have a team up with someone and to see how they would mesh and how they would complement each other forward. But first things first, I want to take baby steps and have her in some singles competition.
I'm leaning towards it the same way. You know, I don't see them tag teaming anytime soon because, you know, as Shane also put out, we want to see Jade in some matches with some of these females to get her feet wet into the company. Now, like the only way I would see them tag teaming will probably be like at War Games, being on the same team on Survivor Series. I could see that definitely happening with the two and them forming their own little, you know, clique with probably Naomi and whoever else they have down the line. That I could see.
And with that being
Des, can I
said,
ask you a question?
go ahead,
Just a
Shane.
quick question.
Go
Because
ahead, bro.
now she's officially Jade. She's officially a WWE superstar. She's touched the ring. So my question is, which brand would we like to see her on?
Shane, that was actually my next question for the two of you guys. I was going to ask, so after her making her debut at the Royal Rumble, which brand would you guys rather see her on? So it's funny that you asked that question to me first. Um, and I applaud that. Like I stated to, well, excuse me, as Destaker stated to Jay last night on Friday Night SmackDown, the brand that's lacking the most competitors is SmackDown at this point. They don't have anybody besides Bianca Belair. So if you want to try to get to having a Bianca Belair Jade Coggerell match at WrestleMania, SmackDown would be her best path. Um, again, Raw is very stacked with Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, and Rhea Ripley and others. So I think that if we want to go that direction with her going against Bianca, the best bet is to have her sign with SmackDown. How about you guys?
Well, with me, I'd say, based on the people that she eliminated tonight, she eliminated mainly raw people for the exception of Naomi. So, I would want her to be on SmackDown, but there's a high possibility, that we can't see her on Raw just because there's more primetime players for her to fight, and maybe those matchups are better for her. But, first, like I said, maybe SmackDown now, and then a switch during the draft where she goes to Raw to get those other matchups that she needs to get her feet wet.
Yeah, it's a good question, because like you said, Raw's already stacked. Then again, she possibly started some stories with them tonight, especially with Nia, the way she single handedly threw her out. Because I don't know if you recognize her facial expression when she was eliminated. She was like, "Oh my god!" And even Becky Lynch was standing there with her mouth open, like gagging. Like, did
Right,
this chick just do that by herself?
right, Shane. Because that plays into the whole. It took 11 women the year before to eliminate Nia Jax, and now you fast forward to this year, and it was only one person. It only took one person. So yes, I agree with you 100%, bro. You know, Shane.
But it's still the question in terms of, like you guys said, Raw is already stacked, and then SmackDown only has but a couple of girls, and Bianca being the biggest one. Now it's possible that maybe we can see both Jade and Naomi coming back to SmackDown. I don't know. Maybe they can toss her around and see where she fits best. But I see her starting off on SmackDown and maybe show her face, once in a while on Raw.
Funny thing is, I can see her going to SmackDown along with Naomi, and um, Jade actually winning the WWE Women's Championship. So it'll lead to a match with her and Bianca at WrestleMania for the WWE Women's Championship, and that'll just be something crazy. It'll lead to a storyline possibly beyond WrestleMania, but it'll give the fans what they wanted. So we will have to just stay tuned. But Mr. SmackDown himself, I see you unmuted yourself. Go ahead, bro.
No, because you just brought up probably a very juicy idea. Like, how would the storyline go where she were encountered with who's our champion, Sky, for that champion? Is that the champion that we're going for, Jade? Des? And how would that storyline? How you see that storyline going?
Yeah, Io is the current WWE Women's Champion on SmackDown. As Jay said, she don't defend the title much at all. But if she pops up, and flaunts the fact that she eliminated this person, being Nia, she eliminated Becky Lynch. She basically eliminated all the top talents in the women's division in WWE. So why not? She can bypass any other person that might have thought that they can challenge her for the belt and be the number one contender, because I can see that happening. Nick Aldis is probably someone to be like, you know what? I'll land this big sign, this signee, and she has a point. She defeated everybody that's a top talent or in the women's division overall. Why not? Why not give her that opportunity at Elimination Chamber?
And I also see Bailey going, wait a minute, wait a minute. You just come here and just because you do that little thing at Rumble, you think you get a chance at this belt in our faction? Are you kidding me? No, go through me first. If you beat me, then maybe then that you will have that little match. How about that idea, Des?
I agree, but I also feel like, you know, Bailey might stay out of it. You know, she might start understanding what's going on around her in that group and the shade that they've been giving her. You know, so it might go both. It might go two different ways. She might just be like, she might just stay out of it, and all of a sudden, you know, don't ask for me to defend you all of a sudden now when I've been trying to be for you. I've been trying to root for you and do everything in your favor, and you've only been giving me nothing but shade. So it can go either way.
Right, but that's the funny thing. The fact that we are seeing all of this shade and she doesn't see the shade. Jay and I, we was talking about it just today at the Rumble, how they were shading her and she didn't see it. When they won the tag team titles, how they was throwing shade at her and she didn't see it. All
Oh
of this
no,
shade is going on and she doesn't see it. So it's like
oh no,
I can see Bailey trying to do best
she
for
saw
the team.
she saw it tonight. For once, she
She
finally
saw
saw
the
it.
shade tonight.
Yeah. If you notice, when it was just her and Oscar in the match, and Oscar put up her two hands to give her a high five, and Bailey went to give her a high five, you know, Oscar was like, yeah, whatever. And then the second time around, when they did something and Oscar tried to give her a high five, Bailey just looked at it, was like, yeah, okay, and was like, let's just get back to beating this chick up. She caught on to it, you know, you know, and I think that's when Pat McAfee was like, "What's going on? Like, I thought these guys were, you know, a team. Like, what's happening?" Bailey caught on to it. You know, it was something that was slight, but you know, again, in this Triple H era, it's White Rabbit. You got to pay attention to everything, and I saw that.
Right, so maybe
I
we'll
gotta
get a more definitive answer on what's that SmackDown when they get together. They have their backstage interviews.
Yep, that's your show.
Maybe we'll have a maybe we'll have a more definitive action in terms of where's her head at, especially now that she's won the Rumble and has an opportunity for the gold and which gold she's going for. Because notice Eon Sky, when they showed her face, she didn't look too impressed. Another form of shade. So this should be very interesting moving forward. I'm sorry, Jay, you want to say something?
Hold on, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jay. Jay, I know you've been quiet for a minute, but this reminds me. I sent you guys a clip earlier in the day, yesterday now, because it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. But I sent you guys something where it was damage control in the back, and I'm like, I don't remember seeing this on SmackDown, so this must have been something after SmackDown where, you know, they were all hype and happy and everything of that nature, and when Bailey was trying to be a part of that, they were all just like they just went mute and then they try to do a whole, you know, all hands in together, and then nobody but beyond Dakota put their hands in. So, you know, did you guys get a chance to see that? And then Jay, you can go ahead and, you know, respond to everything that we said.
You know what? Quick fast, I do remember seeing that clip, and even then, for some reason, through my eyes, Bailey didn't see the shade. She didn't see the shade. So, like I said, it's like all of this shade is going on and she doesn't see it. But then you said she kind of saw it tonight, and I definitely see more shade being thrown at her at the next backstage interview when they talk about moving forward. I could see even more shade happening, and then something's going to happen where she's just finally going to get it. When are you going to fucking get it that these girls are shading you? But it's going to happen real soon. I'm sorry, Jay.
I like to say like I've definitely seen the shade that you sent in that video. The group showing it to her. But what I think is, I think Bailey and her sadistic ways is already like, yo, y'all think I don't notice what y'all doing, but I'm paying close attention to y'all, and I'm playing the game to all of y'all and saying I'm gonna go after Rhea the entire time, and I'm gonna make my announcement, you know, that I'm gonna go after EO just because of all of that. It made me change my mind. Like, we all thought that she was gonna go and challenge Rhea, as she's been saying. I don't think so. I think she's been playing a game on them the entire time. And if she is, and she has been, kudos, baby.
That I see what you're saying, Jay, and that would be the ultimate revenge.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would love to see that, sadistic side of Bayley against the people that's wronging her. But all in all, we've been on this for almost a damn hour. But Bayley won the Women's Royal Rumble match in the long run, and she has a decision to make in the long run. We don't know when that will happen. It can happen this Friday night. It can happen in the long run. But moving on, the next match that we had was surprisingly, was the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Universal Championship. And I would just like to get y'all's opinions about the match. And I mean, because we all picked Roman Reigns to win the match. I think it was pretty obvious that he was, because of the fact that we know he's going to go into WrestleMania as a champion. We just didn't know who his opponent would be. And we still don't really know whether it's just Cody Rhodes or it'll be Cody Rhodes and The Rock or whatever, because we still don't know where The Rock plays into all of this. But yeah, I would like to get y'all opinions on the match. I'll start with Jay and we can end it with Shane. Go ahead, fellas.
I like to say great win by the tribal chief. It was probably the second easiest match as far as his offenses with his wins. This was too easy for him. He didn't really need Solo's help. Solo was laid out, for like what 5 to 7 minutes, and nobody else came to help him out, and he still won in his fashion, bro. Kudos to the champ. He is acknowledged tonight. He is the guy. He, like Michael Cole was saying as well. He was saying he could take the time off, but the thing is, can you beat him? And I was like, yeah, Michael Cole, you said the damn truth on that one, because if you can't beat him, stop complaining.
Okay, so here's the thing with all of that. He almost was beaten. Randy Orton had easily pinned him if it wasn't for Solo, because don't forget, Solo, right as he was about to say three, and right as we was about to celebrate, he's pulled away. And then out of nowhere, here comes Solo. And then Solo delivers the thumb. He delivers the thumb, weakens these guys out to give Roman the opportunity to do his thing, and has the win. So it's once again an easy win because he had help from the bloodline. So do you think that he would have still won in that fashion if it was absolutely just him and absolutely no one from the bloodline to come in and help him? That's a question for you, Jay.
Honestly, yes. I think he still would have won, regardless of it. It's just the fact that he's the guy right now, and these other guys are still chasing dreams that has been goddamn almost 4 years. And the LA Knight's been chasing a dream, God knows how long. He's just the guy that wins it over with the crowd and everything. And I get the fact that Solo came and helped him and weakened everybody up. But at the same time, Solo was out for like 5 to 7 minutes. So everybody did get their chances to still kind of get some punches and hits in. So, I wouldn't, that's why I would say, this was possibly the second easiest title fight that he's had.
So yes, Randy. So Roman is the guy, but 14-time champion Randy's not the guy.
No, right now, Nick Aldis only sold him that part where he could get to the bloodline. And I feel that, Randy probably gets one more chance at it, but, probably by himself, nobody else this time. And, he still might not get it. So, probably Randy gets a chance later down the line, but maybe nah, he's not even getting elimination chamber. So Randy's already done pretty much trying to chase him until further notice.
Well, in my opinion, like you said, Shane, Randy had the match. He had the match. Um, if it wasn't for Solo, we would have a new WWE Universal Champion. That was a three. If he didn't pull the referee out, that was a three, straight up. And as we know, Roman unfortunately cannot win a title match straight up. He has to have some type of help from someone along the way in the bloodline, and that's I'm not going to change my opinion of that. That's just how it is. I mean, we all knew that it was going to be someone from the bloodline interfering in the match. Jay, you even said it yourself. You felt that it might have been uh, someone else in the family to interfere in the match, but we all know, you know, Roman can't win without the help of someone in the bloodline. That's the story, and that's how it is. But I believe Randy Orton would have had the match won had it not been for Solo interfering and pulling the referee out. Anybody got anything else to say on that?
Yeah, the only thing that I thought was interesting, it was interesting that that was the second match. I understand that this is the Royal Rumble, and of course, the Royal Rumble is the last match of the night. But I at least thought that this would have been like the third match. I don't know because I'm so used to Roman like closing out the night. This is like the first time in a long time that we haven't seen Roman close the night. So I just thought that that was interesting.
Well, Shane, you mentioned it already. you know, uh, well, we mentioned it together, and the fact that Roman is home in Florida, and I told you, I said he wants to be home before the end of the pay-per-view, and that's what it seemed like it was. He was home. He should have been home in Pensacola by the time this pay-per-view ended. It's not a far drive from Tampa to Pensacola, so that's my take on that. Anything else on that match, or can we move on?
No yeet.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Thank you, sir, too. The next match was Logan Paul versus KO. Very interesting match. Very interesting ending. Uh, we all had our different ways of how this match might end. I believe we all picked the same winner of this match. Let's see, Shane, you said you were taking down the notes last night on SmackDown. We all picked the same winner, correct?
This is correct. We all picked Logan.
All right.
We all picked
So
Logan.
Logan Paul did end up winning the match. It was via disqualification. I believe I remember saying that a few weeks ago in one of my soliloquies or whatever like that, saying that he would win by DQ. But things changed throughout the weeks, with the storylines and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we all got it right. Jay said that one of Logan's cronies would end up coming into the match, which happened. I know I said that we would see Theory and Grayson Waller show up, which happened because of their situation that they have going on with KO. Fellas, I would love to hear what your thoughts of the match overall was and the ending of the match. And we'll start with Shane. We'll end with Triple J because, again, Triple J with the cronies situation, none of us called that part, but most of us agreed that KO would be interfered with Grayson Waller and Theory. Shane, go ahead.
My apologies to the table for my lack of knowledge of this match because I did step away to take care of business so that I can be here in time for our discussion tonight. But I did do a little research on Twitter in terms of the ending, and I saw the ending how KO had some brass knuckles. I guess they belonged to Logan, or it was for Logan. And then just as the referee went to a third count, he saw the knuckles. He saw his hand with the knuckles in the air, and that's how it was disqualified. So it's in a way, Deji was right. The match was won from a disqualification. However, it was a disqualification from KO and not not Logan. That was it's very interesting how all of that came together. But hey, I mean, is this a congratulations for Logan? I don't know. We got to see moving forward. Is the story going to continue, or is it going to be a new story moving forward in time for Mania? I just leave it up in the air at that for now.
Right. And before you answer, Jay, that's actually something that I mentioned to Jay in our chat that, I gave him flowers saying that, bro, the way that it's looking, that this situation was going to go and move forward ahead into the next pay-per-view of Elimination Chamber because of how it ended and, like, literally how it ended with how KO attacked uh, Logan Paul at the end of the match. So it looked like it's a continuation into Elimination Chamber, but I still keep my reservations for Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny at Mania, and still keep my reservations for KO and Sami Zayn versus Theory and Grayson Waller at WrestleMania as well. Jay, on you, bro.
Oh man, what a match! Like you were saying, the crony came and sidetracked everything. That's where WWE officials were getting sidetracked. And then we seen Waller and this guy coming. Oh my God! You know, Theory had the brass knuckles in his hand. and tossed him, gave him to Paul, and what you see is what you get. You know, this guy blocked him, took him off his hands, and then to me, since KO's a good guy, usually when you're a bad guy, you find a quick way to tuck him in your drawers or whatever. And this pin seemed like it was the opposite hand of where you got to pin the guy actually. So it made the brass knuckles more visible as he did the pin. He should have just kept, a tuck. He didn't keep a tuck, so it was, it was in, um, excuse me, it was in clean and clear view that it was, seen. So kudos to Paul on the win, yada yada yada. He didn't display anything that made me go ooh or ah during the match, except for like just a little rolling thing that he does that's similar to what Grayson Waller does. So yeah, boo.
To piggyback on what you said, Des, this is what I would pay for at Mania to see KO and Sami Zayn to tag team against Austin and Waller in a street match. I want a street match. I don't want no rules, no disqualifications. You can do whatever you want as long as we get a 3 count. That's what I want. Street match, good old street match. What do you think, Des?
I agree
Well,
with that. Go ahead, Jay.
well, let me ask you. I'm sorry. Let me ask you guys this question though. Do you see this happening before Mania, since Elimination Chamber is in Australia and it gives Waller an advantage to be at home? What do you think about that?
Well, I commented on this a few weeks ago when I told you guys that if that story veers off and it ends up into being a 3-on-3, that I said that it would be a match between Grayson Waller, Theory, and Logan Paul versus KO, Sami Zayn, and Ricochet, which both we saw um, compete tonight in the Royal Rumble. So that's something that I mentioned a while ago. So I can see that. And then with Shane, as far as Shane's question, yes, I can see, for the second year in a row, KO and Sami Zayn versus another tag team, this time being Theory and Grayson Waller. It'd be great if they can get a stipulation like that. Maybe I think they would probably label it as a tornado tag match where you don't have to tag in anybody and anything goes. So maybe it'll be that type of situation. But I've already mentioned the whole 3-on-3 situation at Elimination Chamber, and I agree with you, Shane. Where again, I mentioned another tag match between KO and his partner versus Grayson Waller in Theory. Shane.
Thank you. I would love to see that. And I wouldn't mind seeing the 3-on-3 either. Whatever, just to keep this story going because it is an interesting story that I will invest in.
Alrighty then. So we're at the men's Royal Rumble, even though we already ended. We started the night with who actually won the match. So with the time that we're at, with it being so late, so early in the morning, I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you guys feel like that we need to move into this match, even though we already, you know, spoke about the winner of the match, or do you think that we can go ahead and wrap up the show?
I just want to say one thing. There's in last night's show, I called it with Jay and Jimmy being number one and two in this Rumble. I was like, oh shit. Once I heard Jay's music, I said, oh, Jimmy's following right behind him just because of the reaction he gave last night. That's all I want to say.
Now, Jay, did you say that on the show, or did you say that in our chat?
As I recall, I said it on last night's show. I didn't say it in the chat. I remember what I said, buddy.
No, no, I'm just asking. I wasn't there, so I'm just making sure. So if you said it in last night's show, then kudos to you, flowers to you, because that was definitely something that was amazing to see. Clearly, Jay was completely caught off guard by seeing his twin brother, his older brother, coming in as number two. And that's a part of my notes. Shane, do you want to diverge into this match more, or are you okay with the fact that we already started the show with the ending of the match? Is there anything that you want to talk about that happened?
I mean, we basically, said everything. I mean, the only thing, this is in my notes, the only thing that stood out that I want to mention is what the hell did Carlito do? He got that apple from where? And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. We're keeping it PG tonight, so we're gonna just leave it to our imagination where that apple came from. It might have came from his side pocket. The only other thing that I want to actually harp on in this Royal Rumble match that was interesting to me was, do you guys, and I'll start with Jay first, my NXT guy, and then we'll end with Shane. Do you guys see somehow, some way, a future match for the Intercontinental Championship between Braun Breaker and Gunther? Because we saw a showdown between them in the Royal Rumble. Guys, your thoughts?
Well, I'll put it like this. Braun Breaker beat Gunther to unify the NXT and NXT UK championship. That's why they faced off. Gunther doesn't forget what happened between the two. So that's a story within a story for the future. And yes, I can see them two facing each other again for that IC title. So yeah, definitely sign me up for it again.
Okay, I had no clue about that. Shane, on you.
That's interesting to know, Jay. Thanks for sharing that. I'll say this. I would much rather see that match than Gunther and Kofi, which we're going to see Monday. I'm not really like sold on that match, but I would love to see Gunther and the very best top shelf liquor, the 10,000 and over plus price liquor of Braun Breaker. That is going to be Mania style match right there.
We got one voice note left. I haven't had a chance to check to see who it's from or what it's about. So we'll play it, we'll react to it, and then we'll close the show out. Let's go.
Besides Braun Breaker, that was a good match. Out of all the matches, I want to say that this was probably the most entertaining match throughout the Royal Rumble.
Okay. So I'm not sure what the context was of that one. It might have been something that was sent to us a little bit earlier on the topic that we were on earlier. But again, flowers to Braun Breaker. He showed out tonight. Flowers to Mello. Uh, my bro was coming after everybody that was coming into the ring, no matter who you were. Shout outs to Triple H, Nick Khan, WWE, TKO. Shout outs to my guys, Triple J, Shane O'Mac. Fellas, before we go, you guys have anything to end this night out with? This is our first ever pay-per-view PLE reaction show. Go ahead. Start with Triple J, end with Shane, and then I'll close it out. Go ahead, fellas.
First of all, I'd like to thank the viewers that have been listening, Lawan, and my childhood friend, my amigo King. Thank you for your response earlier towards the match. And guys, this was a blast. Our first PLE as a group. It went as expected. They delivered, we delivered, and mainly delivered on Sundays, but we for sure did. And I appreciate the both of you guys. Bless everybody.
Yes, I personally would like to say congratulations to both Dez and Triple J for we have very first PLE three bells. We did an awesome job. Kudos to you guys on that. Also, like to give a shout out to each and every competitor that showed up tonight. Each and every one of you did an amazing job, and in my opinion, delivered one of the best Royal Rumbles that we have seen in a damn good long time. So shout out to everybody that had showed up for the assignment and passed with A plus plus across the board. And I'm so glad that they have made that decision so that Slim Jim can stay. Because notice we saw their names all over the place. And just a couple hours ago, that almost did not happen. So congratulations to everybody. It was a successful night. Looking forward for tomorrow. Football, baby. See y'all soon.
And with that being said, on behalf of Triple J, on behalf of Shane O'Mac, and on behalf of the Three Bells Podcast, it's your boy Mundo, aka Mr. AKA himself. We thank you guys so much for joining us tonight on our very first PLE pay-per-view special edition of the Three Bells Podcast. We thank y'all so much for joining us for Royal Rumble week. It was a successful Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown podcast with all the craziness that we had in the world of WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, and wrestling in general. Thank y'all so much. We see you guys again this Monday at 11:15 p.m. to recap Monday Night Raw. On that, God bless everybody, and thank y'all.
Yeet.
And as always, no yeet.